What is up, guys? It is DMG here, and today we have our very first official video for FIFA 20, and it is a Bundesliga squad builder, specifically a starter squad for the Bundesliga, which in my opinion is probably the best league to start out with. Premier League is obviously going to be too expensive. League 1 isn't bad. The league is not bad. Calcio A or Serie A has a little bit left to be desired, but that's not bad either. But, Premier League, if you do a little bit of a hybrid with it, it's not bad, but it is a little too expensive. But for me, Bundesliga is really good because it has a lot of options. It has a lot of good quality options to upgrade to as well, besides a couple of positions here and there. Same thing for La Liga. Same thing for, or not League One, but at least League One has some good players starting out. But Bundesliga, like I said, has probably the best players to kind of start out with. Now, we are going to use a 4-3-2-1, but that's just for chemistry, right? Because it's probably easiest just to kind of link. Even though, again, you can literally just go into any formation, right? Because it is one league, but I am using it just because we have wingers here and we can have some midfielders who are going to be defensive, some more attacking, so it really doesn't matter. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to go with the Bundesliga, and starting with goal, again, like I said, you have a lot of good options to upgrade to, like Neuer. Obviously, you got Berkey, you got Galassi to kind of upgrade to, but good players to kind of start out with, right? If you get lucky, maybe you can get an 84, maybe an 83 of Jarstein, here a Decky or a Trapp, possibly maybe even a Castiles. But there are some good options to start out with, right? With Timo Horn, Bauman's not a terrible option either. But I mean, there's not bad ones over here, right? Who are a little bit lower rated. But you might have to splash a little bit more just because there's not really an 80 or an 81 type player besides Horn. But we are going to go with Horn. And then with the center back spots, this is probably my favorite thing in that there are a lot of good starter options. With the upgrades, it's not that great because Hummels is too slow. Sule, even though has 72 pace, he has 53 acceleration, which in my opinion, acceleration is definitely more important for a center back than sprint speed. So he has 53 acceleration. He has 34, 35 agility and balance, so he's not going to be turning well either. So he's not really a great option to go to. Obviously, Hernandez is solid. Ta you could probably just get by himself. Boateng's not bad either, but I mean, Hernandez is the one to go for, and he's only an 84 overall. So he'll be somewhat affordable initially, right? But he's obviously not going to be like, over 100K. So, I mean, keep an eye out for that. But in terms of players starting out, there's a Kanji, there's Vogt, there's Ginter, there's Brooks, there's Nastasic, who aren't bad. There's obviously the Leipzig boys, right, with Konate, and then there's Mukele, and there's Upamecano. There's Nakate. I mean, there's a good amount of players, right? So just to get a hyperlink, right, just so then it kind of helps with hybrids and stuff, let's go with Upamecano here, and then for the other one, we will be going with one of his teammates here, Konate. And again, if you were to do this with this type of formation, right, where the center backs only have 4 links, you could just do 2 of the Leipzig players, 2 of the Leipzig center backs, and then literally any goalie from the Bundesliga, right? Any goalie from the Bundesliga, and then you are going to have you're going to have full chem straight there. So that's all right there. But continuing with the all Bundesliga team, for the Bundesliga on the right back spot, not a great spot to kind of upgrade to. However, at the same time, left and right backs don't really have a lot of stellar players in them. So you don't really necessarily need an amazing upgrade until there starts to be team of the years, team of seasons, informs, and things like that. So, I mean, starting out, you have Piszczek, you got Costa, you got Klosterman, you got Visor, you got Mbabu, right? So we're going to go with Mbabu, but again, there's a lot of quality options there. Left back, I think it's kind of the same thing. You do have Alaba, which is good. You go with Ruslan, you go with Schultz, you can go with Hakimi, you can go with Max, you can go with Wendell. So finally, there actually are some good outside back options to go with, which there previously weren't in previous FIFAs in the Bundesliga, right? At right back, there was usually just Piszczek, and that was it. At left back, there's usually just Alaba, and then maybe Wendell, who's obviously not great, but decent for a starter team. But then after that, there's not really anyone else. But again, there are some good players here. So we are going to go with, Ruslan has pretty much better everything than Schultz besides pace, which is just 1 less, right? So let's just go with Ruslan there. Again, links up, which is really, really good there. Let's go with the center mid spots now. Again, there's some good spots to upgrade to, right? You got Royce, Thiago's not horrible, right? With that dribbling and passing, that's not bad. Witzel's fantastic. Havertz is good. Brandt, Goretzka. Campbell even. Talisso's maybe a little bit slow, but it's not bad maybe starting out. So you have, again, good options to kind of upgrade to. Forsberg's maybe a little slow, but you have Delaney, who looks cheap and good starting out. Let's see if there's any other players that might be good. I know there is with Zakaria, right? There is Zakaria, which, again, you could do a little Swiss league with Mbabu, Akanji, and Zakaria. That's going to be really, really good. Let's see if there's anything else here. I believe Zuber was one of them. Zuber, and Kunku is also very good. I want to see if I can find Zuber, because he actually, yeah, like right here, he looks very, very solid as well. And again, he looks very cheap. So good options there. So, I mean, again, there are good options in the center back or in the midfield spot. So good stuff there. So what we're going to do is we are going to go with Zakaria, because to me, he looks like he'd be really, really good. So let's go with Zakaria there. And again, links with Mbabu. If you get a Kanji, you're good there. For the other two spots, let's just go with, let's see. Again, you do have some good spots here. Let's go with Campbell, right? See, because he actually looks quite decent. And then in the other spots, let's see if we can find someone maybe a little bit more attacking. Actually, I do remember that's something that was a little lacking, is that there's not really a lot of attacking center mids. At least from what I remember, at least ones that are actually really, really good. Because, I mean, there's Modus right there, but he's more of a winger. I believe there's one or two more that are very similar. Bincourt, again, also very similar thing. Pace, dribbling. I mean, his passing's not bad, but again, a very similar thing there. Harrett has 5-star skills. That's good. You have McKinney, who's also a very good defensive mid, it looks like. So, again, keep those in mind. But, I mean, again, you could go with McKinney. You could go with Zuber. Again, very good options there for kind of a holding mid / defensive mid, which is also very good because the Bundesliga did not used to have good defensive and holding mids. But we're going to go with Delaney. So, again, very good options here, right? Box to box. Campbell is off. He's actually a little bit more attacking with that dribbling and shooting. A little bit more pacey as well, which is good, but it's just that shooting that lets him down. Zakaria, though, Delaney, a little bit more defensive. Zakaria is definitely more of a holding mid as well. For the wings, I believe there's some good options here from what I remember, right? You have Gnabry, you have Sancho to upgrade to. Hazard doesn't look terrible as a cam, as a winger, maybe not. Bellarabi doesn't look bad by any means. But Lookman's not bad, but besides that, there's not a lot of good starting options. You have good players to upgrade to. So that's a good thing, right? Gnabry and Sancho, they're obviously not 88 overall, so they're not going to be crazy expensive. But, I mean, hopefully you could get Bellarabi. Hopefully you could get, one of those guys for somewhat cheap. But, yeah, not a whole lot of amazing starting players there. On the left side, again, good players to upgrade to with Coman, Perisic, Coutinho. Kostic with 67 defending, and I believe high work rates. He could be a very good center mid as well. So, again, add someone to that center mid list. And he could also attack, so not bad there. You have Leon Bailey. You have Rashika, who's also not bad by any means. Rahman doesn't look too bad. Larson doesn't look horrible. But, there are some, good players to get. So, let's go with Rashika just because he looks very solid. But again, Coman, Leon Bailey to kind of upgrade to, so no problem there. Now, I do remember the striker spot is a little bit left to be desired because there's no one to really upgrade to, right? You could put Royce there. Leiwa's definitely the best option at striker. But again, all of these are midfielders. You have Werner, who's good, right? But you could potentially get him at the start. Alcacer, Kramaric, not great. Obviously, we're not going to go with Dost. But there are some decent starting options, right? You have Voland, who's not bad. You have Rebic, who honestly is probably going to be the best one. You have Poulsen, who's not that bad. You do have... there was one other person that I was thinking of. Mateta, who also doesn't look too bad either. Cordoba doesn't look horrible as well. So again, you do have some good options starting out for striker. Augustine also does not look bad by any means. So there are some good options there. But we are going to be going with Rebic. Just because, pace, shooting, dribbling's not bad, and then he has that physical. So again, this is probably one of the better Bundesliga teams you can make, at least just starting out. Again, you have players you can upgrade, right? At left back, you could go with a couple other players, but that's probably one of the best left backs besides Alaba. And Babu, again, same thing, probably one of the best right backs in the Bundesliga. You could go with Lucas Hernandez if you're able to. You go with Akanji if you're able to. You can go with Neuer if you're able to, or one of the 85s if you're able to. Midfield, again, you can go with Goretzka. You can go with Delaney, who's also very good. Zakaria, again, very good there. Lay was kind of the best option at striker. Besides that, you might be a little bit unlucky. Bellarabi, right at the right wing spot, you could go with again Sancho, Gnabry, someone like that. At the left wing spot, again, you can go with someone like Coman, someone like, I believe, who else? Who else are we missing here? So let's get Sheik out of there. And then there's also one other, Coutinho, Perisic, and then Coman, right? So you do, again, have some decent options there. So, again, this is our team. It should be fairly cheap. Again, I'm pretty sure the most expensive people, right, probably going to be some of this, at least these players right here, because higher rated, looks good. The hyperlink here is probably going to be a little bit more expensive as well. But besides that, I mean, it should be ideally under 30K. For a team like this is very, very solid. So like I was saying, this is going to be a very, very good starter team, somewhat cheap as well, and you obviously have some very good and overpowered players. And again, they're already going to be cheaper because they're not in the Prem, right? Simple as that. Like that's one of the main factors for them being cheaper, is that they're not going to be in the Premier League. Simple as that. So again, that is going to be it for the video. I will be doing other leagues. I will be doing ones that also not any of the top 5 leagues. There are a couple of players from the Belgian league that look insane that I'm going to go over. But again, like I said, Bundesliga is probably one of the best ones to start out with. So really aim to get some Bundesliga players. Again, it doesn't have to be all Bundesliga, right? There are some players that are a little bit lacking, but I mean, at least the midfield and the defense look really, really solid, right? Again, the attacks may be a little bit lacking, but even then you have some good options. But if you want to go a hybrid, you definitely can. But Bundesliga, I would include in parts of your team. But again, like I said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been DMG.